What's going on, guys? I guess we were actually in the middle of the podcast, and can't hang. He had to. He couldn't hang for a second. No, I'm just playing. He had to go do something for about 10 minutes, and I realized I did not film an intro for this video. So here's the intro. Tonight we're going to be talking about The Witcher 3 again. He finished it about 2 weeks ago, and we're just going to have a conversation about it, talk about the game and what he thought about it, because I've beaten it a few times and I love that game. And I just wanted to hear from somebody who recently finished it up what they thought. So yeah, that's what this conversation is going to be about. And sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast. Thanks, guys.
I see you gather before me. Hungry, terrified, clutching your babes to your breast. Emperor Emir has marched his legions into our lands, laid siege to every fortress from here to the Blue Mountains. Rabid and ravenous, he bites and bites away. Men of the North, you stand at the precipice. Your kings have failed you, so now you turn to the gods. And yet you do not plead. You do not kneel to dust your heads with ash. Instead you wail, why have the gods forsaken us? We must look into the trials we failed long ago. In a time past, our world intertwined with another through an upheaval scholars call the conjunction of the spheres. The gods allowed unholy forces to slip into our domain. The offspring of that cataclysm was the nefarious force called magic. Yet we did not banish it, instead studying the vile arcane for our own power and wealth. And the monsters at our door, the unholy relics of this conjunction. The trolls, the corpse eaters, the werewolves. Did we raise our swords against them? Or have we laid this burden on others? On so-called witches. Stray children taught the ways of foul sorcery, their bodies mutated through blasphemous ritual. Sent to fight monsters, though they could not distinguish good from evil. The flicker of humanity, long extinguished within them. Yes, their numbers have dwindled through the years. But a few still roam our lands, offering their bloody work for coin. To this day, they shame us with their very existence. The North bleeds, flogged by war. The battles are the gods' whip, chastisement for our sins. And let us not forget the terrors, the scourges from beyond our world. The wild hunt rides the sky with every full moon. The Dark Raiders abduct our children into lands unknown. Some say they herald a second conjunction. Can we chart a course back into the light? Will we find the strength to banish the mages from our kingdoms? Unite around the warmth of the eternal fire. Nigh is the time of the sword and axe. None will fight this war in our stead. Nigh is the time of madness and disdain.
Well, have you finished The Witcher? Like completely?
Oh yeah.
Did everything?
Yeah, I've done everything. I hadn't gotten the DLC, but I did everything you could do besides the DLC.
Oh, okay. Did your version come with it?
No, it didn't.
Oh, really?
I had one of the older versions, my copy of the game. I didn't
Gotcha.
get the, I think it's, what is it, Game of the Year edition came with both
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had them for,
DLCs.
yeah, I rebought it whenever they had it on Xbox. They had like a deal going. It was like $15 for all of it. And I couldn't pass it up.
Oh, no doubt. You know, that since that show come out, the price has gone back up to like
Isn't that crazy?
$39.99. Yeah. So
Isn't
if
that
you want to
crazy?
go buy a copy of the game, it's $40. But you do get both DLCs. So, I mean, I guess it's all right. You're not buying a new game, but it did go back up.
Yep. Well, I'm glad we
You can
finally
get it
got
for
to.
30. Yeah,
Mhm.
go right. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I'm just glad we finally got to get together and talk about it. I feel like we've been trying to do this for like what, a couple weeks now, probably since last time we talked about it.
Yeah, it seems like anytime I went to, yeah, I know we tried to do it the other day, and I kind of blew you off. Not really blew you off. I just wasn't really sure when we were supposed to
Yeah, I
do
don't
it.
even remember. I kept texting you, and I was like, "Man, we need to do that. We need to do that second podcast since you finished the game and talk about the game and everything." And I never really gave you a time or day because I didn't even know myself. I'm just so busy, man.
Yeah.
I've gotten where I'm just so busy all the time
Oh
between
no, no doubt.
like work and then I selling those cars on the side for that car lot, and then I got AutoCAD on my PC at home now, so I've been doing some side projects. I'm actually been working on a garage for Mr. Bob,
There you go.
and just doing stuff around the house and just like trying to find time to do things. Man, it's always my biggest. I don't know
Yeah,
what I have trouble with for some reason.
gotta
And then
keep
I'll have them
hustling,
days where I don't
man.
want to do anything. Like I'll get off work, I'm just like I just want to watch TV and watch fishing YouTube videos. That's all I want to do.
Right, right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad we finally got to talk about it. How long? When did you finish it? Was it recent, or have you been done with it?
Oh man, I've been done for probably 2 weeks ago. I finished everything. It's about right when Toby started playing, and I was trying to help him through some of it.
Oh, is he
I
still
was
playing it?
Yeah, but you know how he does. He'll give up on a game. Like he played Red Dead Redemption. He probably put 30 hours in it, and then he just walked away from it.
Yeah.
Never beat it. The same with was it Sakuro?
Hmm.
I think he got the furthest out of all of us. He's past middle way, and he just quit playing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Uh, I don't know. Like he's one.
Those
I'm
big
not
games.
trying to
That's the only
say.
thing about a big game, though.
Yeah.
Like when you get a game that's 60 plus hours, if you're not, if it has to really grab you. You know what I mean? Like for me, it did. Like The Witcher, just from the get go, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be playing this for a good while. You know. But even
Oh yeah,
then,
no
man, you
doubt.
get 30, 40 hours in, and the thing is, like people, like a lot of people do understand, but some gamers, especially young gamers, don't understand necessarily. Like whenever you got to work every day, and you're got to go to work or whatever, you're working 8 hours, whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. You have less time. The older you get, you have less time to play. It's just the way it is. And when you're talking about like a 60 plus game, man, it's very easy to get like 30 hours in, because that 30 hours for an average person will probably take, I don't, what do you think, what, 10 hours every month and a half or month, maybe a little bit, maybe 20 hours a
Yeah.
month
Yeah.
for an average person. So because you got to say an
Yeah.
average person probably puts in 2 to 4 hours a night depending on how much they play. There's
Yeah.
30 days, so I don't know. I don't feel like mathing right now. I have to math at work all the time. But my point is that it's very easy to get like 30 hours in, and you've been playing the game for like 2 months, and you're like, geez, man, I got another 2 months of this before I get to the end of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it really
Oh,
just
no
depends on how
doubt.
much you're willing to devote to it, honestly. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
To beat
So
everything.
to do everything, to beat everything, that'd be doing all the side quests, all the Witcher contracts,
Hmm.
the Gwent tournaments, the gathering of all the Gwent cards, uh, do all the fights, uh, and to get 3 sets of master crafted armor, it
Hmm.
took me 4 days, 22 hours, 34 minutes.
How are you looking at that? Is that on your load stuff?
Okay, so you're going to go to your achievements and you're going to go to the game, The Witcher, then you're going to go to
Okay.
stats.
So we gotta go. How do you get to? I can't remember how to get to the achievements area.
Press the Xbox button, scroll over to the trophies, go down to see all my achievements, click it.
So I gotta go to home,
Once
I
you,
guess.
just press the Xbox button, the big Xbox button, then scroll over to trophy right by your name,
Oh yeah,
right by
yeah,
your
yeah.
avatar. Then go all the way down to see all my achievements,
Hmm.
and it should pull up The Witcher. or you pull up The Witcher. Once you pull up The Witcher, go to a stats, and it'll tell you your stats on the game. Like I'm ranked number 4 in time played, ranked number 4 in kills. I'm ranked 14 in deaths. Bad out of 15 people. I died a lot.
Okay, yeah, I've got Jesus. I've got 5 days, 17 hours, and 39 minutes in it, and I still have not finished the last DLC.
Yeah, see, so right there.
Yeah, I got 17 deaths. I got 2,482 kills, 43 potions created. That's really all it shows. That's pretty neat. I didn't know you could even look at all that. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, so I got 5 days. I almost got 6 days, man.
Yeah.
That's insane.
What blows my mind is Matt, UC Suspense. Oh, Matt, he has 9 days and 13 hours in the game. It's
In The
9
Witcher?
days and 13. Yeah, and Matt, John's brother Matt Brewer, has 8 days and 16 hours.
I believe it, man. I haven't even done like everything. I mean, I do a lot of the side stuff and a lot of the. I try to do as much as I can, but
Right.
Honestly, well, see, the thing is too, Dobbs, is that that's one playthrough on my Xbox. See, I beat it 2
Exactly.
times before on my PlayStation. So
Oh, then you probably have 10 or 12 days in this game.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, I've probably got at least that more than likely. I just
Right.
love that. I just love that game, man. It's
Oh yeah.
it's probably going to go down as it's
Look, you
RPG
look on the
wise.
thing,
I
man,
can't think
it's
of.
got so many awards. It's won.
Oh yeah.
God, I think it's got
Well,
underneath it. It's got like 36,
hmm.
37 awards it won.
Yeah, and like
I
we
mean,
talked about on the last podcast, you got to remember too that you're playing this game now, and this game is like what 6 years old now. Yeah,
I believe
it's
so.
2020.
It came
6 years
out.
old.
It came out like a year after the Xbox One came out.
Yeah,
So,
and it's better than stuff they put out today by a large
oh
margin.
yeah.
That's just same way with God of War, or, Red Dead.
That is one game I'd like to go back and play because I
That
never
game is
finished
phenomenal.
it.
You
You
need
know,
to
I
finish
want to
that.
go back. I have a PlayStation 4 now, so I'd like to go back and play it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd definitely
Uh,
recommend it then for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like we talked about in that last podcast, it's just one of those games, man. They don't come along very often. I mean, honestly, as far as RPG wise, like all around, it's probably my out of everything I've played. It's really hard to say because it's such a new game. Out of the new games, it's definitely my number one. Like, it's my number one RPG that I've played in the past probably 10 years.
Right.
I can't really think of anything else I like more than it. Like, Red Dead was good. God of War was great. I love both of those games. But to me, just because this is my thing, right? Like, I love the fantasy stuff. I love that kind of stuff. So for me,
Right.
the story depth is much more deep, than in Red Dead or in God of War, because your choices. I mean, there's so many outcomes, So there's just a lot of things it does right, or goes to it takes extra steps over even other great games like God of War, or, Red Dead or something like that. But as far as all time, it would be hard to say because I really love Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republics. I love those games.
Right.
There's some old games but the thing is, it's hard. It's not fair to compare them, because there's such a difference in technology, as far as when those games were made and when this game was made. It's just such a. It's like trying to compare,
Apples to oranges.
or yeah, but like trying to compare like a Super Nintendo game to an Xbox game. You know what I'm saying? It's just you can't do it. It's just too
You
different.
Can't. What else was I gonna say?
Well, what did you? I mean, what did you think about the? Did you get the bad ending, or did you go back and get the good ending?
I got I'm gonna go back and play it again. See, I was about to buy the DLCs put on here, but I was gonna wait for my Xbox to come back in
Yeah.
before I did that. It should be back within a couple of days.
Well, if you do it, you can play New Game Plus mode. So you got all your armor and stuff, and you can work on getting armor you may not have gotten, first
right,
playthrough.
right,
It's pretty neat.
right. Yeah, I was gonna go back and beat the, because I'm right now. I'm a level 38, I believe, which is kind of apparently it's kind of hard to get that far. I mean, it took me a while to grind to get that far. So I wanted to start over and replay it, but I was gonna wait for the Xbox to get back in because I'd like to watch it on. I'd like to see it enhanced. I'd really like to see it what it looks like with the Xbox One X.
Yeah. I'm about to load in my character real quick. I can't remember what level I made it to. I'm on up there, though. I want to say I'm in the 60s.
Yeah, I believe you are. You're a lot higher than me.
But see, I've been working on... Man, I probably spent 3 straight, sittings, the last 3 times I played, just trying to get all of the unique Witcher gear armor completely leveled up. And that in itself takes freaking forever. Just to get the resources.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Once you get the DLC, those Witcher armors you have, I think yours goes to Grandmaster, or does it go to Master? I think it goes to Master. Well, when you get the last DLC, they do all those armor sets, get another one. So it goes from Master to Grandmaster.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Now you had to explain this to me. Somebody I was reading into it. So the Heart of Stone DLC, there's really not much. Apparently, that's not all that big.
I'm only
DLC.
level 46.
It's not even that, right? So, the Heart of Stone really isn't all that. Apparently, it was DLC, but it wasn't as big as
No, it's not
Blood
as
and Wine.
No. There's new characters. There's new armors. There's new. There's not. I don't think there's really a new location. I think maybe one part during the story you go to kind of a new little area. But for the most part, you're in the same maps, but. Trust me, that doesn't take away from it because it's probably the main campaign's probably, I don't know, I can't remember now, dude. It's been so long. I want to say it's over 10 hours. If you ran straight through it, and there's new side quests, there's new gear. It's worth playing through 100%. Now the newest DLC, which I say
Blood
newest,
Wine,
I mean it came out years ago, but Blood and Wine is a whole new area.
2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, there's a whole new area. You get a vineyard. Basically, you get your own little house that's kind of given to you, and you can spend money to upgrade it, and you can display your armors and all different kinds of stuff. It's really neat.
Right.
That's what I've basically been doing on mine. I got to a point I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna upgrade the house. I'm gonna get all my armors upgraded. I'm gonna just do the house like I want to, but I get into it like that. I really get into the kind of not role play aspect, I would say, but just filling everything out, really, I like to, if I like the game enough and what it offers is something different and unique, I'll say unique.
Right.
If it's something different and it's fun and I like the game enough, for example, just doing a house, as far as gameplay, I didn't have to upgrade the house. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect finishing it.
Right.
But it's just something I enjoy it so much that I enjoy actually doing.
It exactly.
Yeah, I enjoy being in the world, if that makes sense.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
And very few games can do that to me. This game does it, Skyrim does it. Even God of War. After I beat God of War, I didn't really have it was a great game and everything, but it wasn't I was oh, I'm going to go back and play that again. I probably could play it again and have a lot of fun, but it's just not the same kind of thing for me.
Yeah, it's not it doesn't hold the value of what The Witcher did.
Yeah, and the bad thing is, man, freaking Cyberpunk's coming out in November?
Yeah, I'm really hyped for that right now.
Dude, I hope it's good.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's going to be though. I still have faith in that studio. I mean, they're the one studio that they can literally be we're not going to show you anything. We've been working on this game for 5 years. It's going to cost more. It's going to be $80 for the game, and I'd probably still pay it without even.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even argue with
one.
it. Be look, it's one time, but where everywhere else sells you a third of a game, we're selling you 100% of a game.
120 usually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'll even throw out some 3 DLC most of the time.
I'm hoping that they stay who they are, man, because I really think they're inspiring other companies, smaller companies, to really, you know, be more like they've been, a model.
Oh no, yeah, yeah.
They're really the only triple. I guess they're a AAA developer. I mean, you'd have to call them that
Oh
by
yeah,
now.
they are, no doubt. Yeah.
But they're the last, like, I guess, AAA, really, that I just have a lot of faith in.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
Well, I like who did they did Fallout New Vegas, and then they did this new game. It was really good.
Oh,
Outer
I
Worlds,
know
I
you're
think, or
talking
something.
Outer Worlds and all that.
Yeah, what's the name of that studio? I can't remember the name of them now.
I'll tell you. Give me just a second.
Yeah, I can look it up on my. I got a freaking gaming PC sitting here. I might as well use it, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. I should know their name. I know it. As soon as I see it, I'll be like, I'm an idiot. Obsidian Entertainment.
Obsidian.
Yep.
Yeah, I was about to say. I pulled up.
Yep. Yeah, them and Obsidian, and like I said, I'm not talking about, indie developers, because there's some good indie developers, but I'm saying like AAA, high level developers. Obsidian, CD Project Red, and there's probably one or two others.
There's one more I'm gonna throw out there. They were a just an indie developer, but they've been pushing out for their past 3 games they pushed out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, their third one hadn't released yet, but it's going to be one of the first ones that drops on the new console, and that's Ninja Theory.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Ninja Theory, they do really well with theirs.
people who do Sekiro too. What's her name? Starts with the I think.
That's the same people with Dark Souls.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Is it Insidious?
I don't know if it's Insidious. I can't remember. But yeah, I guess the point is that there's not a whole lot of goodwill floating out in the AAA development developers right now.
Oh, Firm Software.
Yeah, From Software. Yep, that's them. But yeah. Anyways.
But yeah, I would definitely.
So let me ask you this, man. What did you? Because before, like I said, last time we spoke, you hadn't finished the main campaign, like the main story. What did you think about the story? Which I'm assuming, did you go back and watch any of the good endings, or like, do you know?
I did not.
Okay,
I don't.
well,
I just. I tell you.
Okay, so what do you think about the story for? So what ending did you get? You got the bad ending.
I don't know if I would say it was the best ending, but
So
it
which
wasn't
one was
a
it?
bad ending. It's the one where let me rethink back. Siri's father, he gets murdered and all that. And Siri pretty much comes out and becomes a witcher. Geralt gives her the sword.
Oh, I hadn't got that one. That's the one that I haven't got. Yes, the only one I haven't got. I didn't know that he got killed. I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
Who kills him?
Well, it doesn't show it. It just goes on to tell him that.
Like in the
he's
end.
reckoned with grief because Geralt lies to him and tells him that Ciri's, that she's dead. And
so no, you didn't really get a bad ending. You got the one where she becomes a witcher.
I didn't really get the best. Yeah, it was. Yeah, she became a witcher.
Yeah, the best one there. Yeah, I got the best one. There is another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, you definitely didn't get the bad one, because the bad one's like, you would know it.
I may have gotten the better ending, but the choices I've made throughout the game, I would say I don't know if they were the best. It's just because 2 times I accidentally clicked the button when I wasn't supposed to, and like there's still children in the woods getting eaten, and I was just like, all right, well,
that happened.
I'll see you guys later. And it's just like, and there's no way to to help them after that. It's just like, well, bye, kids, and it's
Yeah, pretty much the only difference in the ending you got. I think there's one choice you have to make a different decision, and then there's also because you make it, you have to do a certain thing that allows you to do a certain mission, to get the ending that I got. So I'd recommend, I'm glad you didn't do it this time. You just played through it. But if you want to get that best ending on your next playthrough, I would highly recommend looking it up because it's not something where you can just. It's more than just the decision because a certain decision that you need to make will basically give you an extra mission, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I would definitely look it up if you want to get that. The one that I got, but okay, so you got a decent ending. That's not a bad ending. So what did you think?
There's
then?
one ending where it tells out how the decisions were made. If you don't do the right decisions by the time you fight at Kaer Morhen, all the Witchers can die but you. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that either. I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You can instead of just burning one fire, you're burning 3. So.
Wow, I did not know that. It's probably it's maybe the decisions you make during that fight. If you just completely do the wrong things,
well, it's not that. It's the amount of people you bring there. If you don't bring, if you've been shitty to everyone and you only bring like 1 or 2 people with you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work out in your favor,
awesome.
and they'll all end up dying. Yeah.
See how great that game is, dude. It's like it literally punishes you story wise if you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna be lazy. I'm not gonna go do these extra missions to get these extra people because it doesn't make you do them. Yeah, spoilers.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
We really need to throw that out there before.
Well, it's a 6-year-old game. If they're getting spoiled, I'm sorry.
I understand. There's
we have the time cushion on it, so we don't necessarily have to. I'll just put it in the description that there's some spoilers on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
But I guess what I was wondering is, with the ending that you got and the story, what'd you think about it from a video game story perspective? Like if you were comparing it to other good story games that you played, as far as like what did you think about it?
I think I should have been drug outside. Been beaten a long time ago for not beating the game beforehand. I think I missed out on something. But I didn't necessarily. But it's like
you played it eventually, so that's what matters.
Exactly. It'd be like someone
but I've been
me
screaming for years.
I've been screaming or N64 from years ago, and
never played GoldenEye.
Never played GoldenEye. Well, I've never really played any of the Zeldas. It's like what. What?
Yeah. Yeah, man, I've been screaming for years, like screaming at everybody that I know, like, play this game. Because the only people that I knew that have actually beat this game before you played it are me and John.
Yeah.
Those are the only two that I knew. And I kept telling y'all, I was like, dude, y'all need to play it, but, then again, it's one of those games that takes a lot of, you need the time, because it does take some dedication to get through. So I can see where it's for some people it may just not be doable, or it's doable, but it would just take them a long time to get through it. But it's worth. That's what I kept saying. I'm like, man, it's going to take you a while to beat it, but it's worth it. Like I said, like I keep telling Justin and everybody, if you play this game for 2 hours and you're not hooked, and the story hasn't really grabbed you, and you don't like the way it feels and the way it plays, just go ahead and put it down, because. Right. That's pretty much the loop, because from the beginning, the opening cutscene, I was like, whoa, what the hell, what's going on? Like, that's how, for me personally, how quick it grabbed me. It didn't take very long.
Oh, yeah. Another spoiler, I didn't know, someone was telling me the Man of Mirrors, the dude that helps you in the very beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
At the bar, apparently he's actually a really powerful person.
Yes, he's the main antagonist in the next DLC you'll play.
The Heart of Stone, or.
Yep.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it at first when I was playing it. I was like, gosh, dude looks familiar, and then I was like, wait a minute, I know this guy. They only showed him that one time You never see
Yeah.
him throughout the game again until you get to the DLC, which I thought was. They just know how to put together a freaking game, dude. That's all I can say about it. Like, they know they get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
They understand.
And,
I hope
and my
whatever they're
thing
paying
is-
them, they need to raise their pay. They need to keep that company together. Like, they don't need to get rid of nobody. Because they got some talent over there. Did you mute your mic?
touched it. Wow. And it turned off.
What happened now?
Apologize. If you don't mess with your controller for a while or touch
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it'll eventually turn off.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I definitely recommend it to anyone who has not yet played it.
What did you think about the, this is actually a good question for you, since you didn't play it whenever it first released. You played it about 5-6 years later.
I played it when it first released. I just never beat it. Then I got halfway through.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess the question could still hold the same weight. What did you think about the combat? Because if you think about it, the combat is, the system's 5-6 years old.
I like the combat. Honestly, I like it versus a lot of other games. Well, you got
a lot of the new games.
Yeah, because they've made it nowadays. You really, and I'm not saying you don't need to, but like you have to, you really got to watch out when you counter. You got to know when to counter. You got to. It's not Dark Souls level of hard, but
yeah,
it's it definitely sometimes will make you think that. On what you're fighting. I mean, don't go in half, half prepared. I told Toby that when he was fighting somebody, I was like, Toby, anytime I went in to fight anything I wasn't never fought before, I go in fucking maxed out to the gills with everything I can throw at them.
Yeah, I'm playing on, let's see, what am I playing on? I think I'm playing on the hardest. No, I'm playing on Blood and Broken Bones.
Blood, Broken Bones.
Yeah, the one right under Death March, the hardest one. And it's especially if you turn up the difficulty some, you have to, you need to fight things at your level, and you need to know how to go about it, because it's gonna affect the fight, which I like personally.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But what I like about it too is if
playing on
you're just there for the
difficulty.
story. Yeah, if you're just there for the story, you can put it on easy and just coast through it. Which is cool too.
And another thing, in game, you can still back it down. You can go in game and bring it down to easy. If you get somewhere where you're stuck and it's like, man, that thing's whooped your ass 3 times, 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit there and back it down, get through it.
Yep.
I mean, unless you're just one of them that's like, I got to beat him at this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people are like that. It basically lets you play how you want to play. Pretty much
play
is
how
what
you
it
want
does.
to play. But yeah, I like the fighting. I like all that. The only thing mechanic I think that bothered me in the whole game, and I looked online about it, and a lot of other people talked about it as well. They were upset with it. Is Roach. God, you need that horse, and when you call him, and he he shows up, but he's like on top of the damn mountain. You're like, why are you up there? Like,
yeah. I do like I like whenever you get on a road on him and you're running. If you have a objective, he'll follow the road, the path, so you can just kind of hold A. The only thing you really have to do is if there's like a fork in the road, you'll have to kind of angle your control stick in the right direction.
Yeah.
It seems like the AI gets a little confused when there's turns for whatever reason.
Oh yeah.
But man, I really
stamina.
As many times as I've played through the game, I really don't have many complaints, honestly. Like, because I've just played so much shit.
No, I have.
You know what I mean? Like, I played so many shitty games. It's like, it's just one of them games I can come back to and play, and like, I know I'm gonna have a good time. It's just even like on the new DLC, I found a few bugs. Like, I could be running on a certain area. There's been a few times I've ran into like kind of invisible walls here and there, which is not common. I didn't have that happen on the original game or the this first DLC, but the second I've ran into a couple. But it's only been like twice since I've been playing, so it ain't like it's a big deal or anything. But yeah, other than that, I really just don't have anything really bad to say about it, honestly.
Yeah, there's nothing I could say bad about it. I mean, there's really, I don't know. There's not really a whole lot you can compare it to, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't be like, oh, well, you should have done like this game. It's its own. It's really its own thing.
Yeah. Yep. What y'all? Oh man, I forgot what I was gonna ask you now. I was literally just had it, and I was gonna ask you, and then I completely forgot. Oh, which relationship did you go with?
Oh, I ended up going with what is her name? I can't remember. Black-haired girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jennifer. Yeah.
Yeah.
On this
Jennifer,
playthrough, I wish I knew how it was
but
gonna
you
end.
went with Triss.
No, I went with both. I knew how it was gonna end though. I was like, you know what, Geralt's a
went with them
loner.
both?
Yeah, I was like, Geralt's a loner anyway. He doesn't need anybody.
There you go.
Because that's how that ends. If you try to do both relationships, they basically are like, you know, both want nothing to do with you. So I was like, you know what? That's who he is. He's a loner. He doesn't need anybody.
Yeah, that's who I went with. I asked Toby how he was going so far in the game. Apparently, he ended up having to kill. He's killed like 3 of the main characters he was not even supposed to kill.
What? How?
Yeah. Well, he killed Kara Metz. He killed her.
How?
How he killed her?
Well,
You
yeah.
know, the decision you made, he ended up fighting her and he killed her off. He made, like, he's like, yeah, she wasn't listening. She wasn't doing right, so I killed her. I was like,
I don't even remember that decision. I don't remember getting in that decision.
It's in that island in the swamps where that.
Yeah.
She took those papers, and Gerald asked her back. He told her to go to, Karamore and should stay safe there. That's how I did it. And Toby played it the wrong way and was like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna kill you and take those papers." But,
why does that not surprise me?
No, yeah, he's killed off like 3 or 4 people he wasn't even supposed to kill off. Apparently, that's how he's explained to me, and I was just kind of confused why he did that.
Yeah, I don't know either. He's probably just picking like the worst choices on purpose. Then again, maybe he's not. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no
maybe he
telling.
genuinely thought it was the right choice.
Right.
I feel like he's one of those people. Like he's one of those guys that, like, whenever he plays a game, like he takes everything they say to heart. So like whenever the character, because like the character kind of sets you up to put you in a position. It's like, well, this character's being an asshole to me, but I'm supposed to be nice here if I want to be the good guy. And Toby just doesn't care if they're an asshole to him. He's just like, he picks the asshole choice too.
Right.
Wouldn't surprise me. Which is fine. Makes for an interesting playthrough.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. But yeah, it's really your decision in that game, man. You can really go either way.
Let me ask you
But it
this.
is worth.
Yeah, I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
actually ask you. Do you think because you said you played it before but you recently finished the game, played through the whole game, and do you think, because I mean you're like me and like all of us, like we got we're gamers for sure, but it's not like we can play a whole lot,
Pro.
like
Yeah,
all the
no,
time.
yeah.
It's like it's not our
Yeah.
job to play games, right? As much as
I
we
don't
may
know if
want
I'd
it to
want
be.
that to be my job. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. It could
Yeah,
get repetitive.
I would like it, but it's one of those. It's like, wow, I love it enough that I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, you're like
I wouldn't
turning
want to
your
get
hobby.
tired of it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
want to get tired of it. more
That's
you do
always a
something, the
risk.
more you could get. Yeah.
But I guess what I'm getting at is like, okay, for somebody who has never heard of it, heard of The Witcher, never read the books, never played the first two games, is just a casual. I wouldn't call us casual gamers as much because we do play pretty often. I would say we're somewhere in between like casual and hardcore. I guess I don't know what
Right.
people like. This is so confusing to me because remember back in the day, like a casual gamer and a hardcore gamer were very two different things, very
Yeah.
really really. And now I don't know what people consider a casual gamer. Like, is a casual
I don't
gamer
know
someone who
either.
plays an hour a night or 2 hours a night? Because sometimes
They
I don't
say
play
they
at
had
all.
a
Sometimes I play 4 hours a night, even on a work week. So,
right.
um, but I feel like I play more than the average person. Actually, I know I do because I'm usually playing something. But I guess I got a little off track. But my question was, do you feel like you could recommend this game to someone who only plays maybe an hour or two a night? With it, when you think about, obviously, the game is obviously worth it, right? But it's really more of a time factor. Like, do you think, would you recommend it to someone who only plays like an hour or two a night, knowing that it's going to take 60 plus hours to get through?
Yeah, I would. I would recommend it to somebody. I would recommend it to what I would call a weekend warrior
There you go.
gamer that
Yeah.
just plays on the weekends. Definitely. Yeah, you threw 5 to 6 hours a weekend and on this game, you could beat it within.
So even if it takes you a couple months, you think it'd be worth it?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, I say this, if it grabs a hold of you like it did me, once you really get into it, once you think about, 8 to 9 hours in it, really grabs hold of you, really get started into the storyline of what it is. Yeah, I think you could easily, I could see where you could stay up till 3 in the morning
Oh yeah.
on weekend playing the game,
Yeah, there's been
Um,
many a times on the weekend I was up till like 2:30 playing a freaking single player game, which never happens hardly. Like usually that's
Right.
multiplayer if I'm up that late.
Right. No, I put some 3 o'clock hours in on The Witcher, definitely.
Did you
Um,
did you watch the show?
oh yeah. Yeah, I
Well, let
thought
me
they
ask
did
you,
really well.
did you watch the show before you beat it, or did you beat the game before you watched the show, or was it kind of both, like watching it as you played it?
I watched the show before I played the game. Like I said, I played it years ago, and I had got halfway through the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I just never did go back and play it. The show come out, and I was really hyped for that because I like that fantasy style stuff. Lord of the Rings. I'm not going to mention Game of Thrones, but just that style of
Mm-hmm.
that fantasy style. I really get into that kind of stuff. And The Witcher, when I heard it was coming out, as much hype as it blew into it, especially the actor they got. And I was like, they're sinking some money into this. It should be good.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, it was really well. I enjoyed it. I did.
Did you think that they well, because the show is based more on the book so than on the game, but of course the game is based on the book and a representation of the original
Yeah, the
material.
show takes place like way years before.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm getting at is, did you think that the show did a good, a good job? I guess getting the
Portraying
world.
Geralt,
Well,
or,
yeah.
or getting
well,
the world right.
I feel like Geralt was done right because Henry Cavill, he didn't even, he was introduced to the IP through the game. He didn't even know that there were books. And then he went and read the books, apparently, after he played the game a few times. So
Yeah.
his actual character, he based more off the model of the game that he played, obviously. Whereas the story is more book based, which is fine. I mean, these games kind of follow the books too. So, but I guess what I'm like, do you think that they got the world right? Like, does whenever you watch that show, does it like from the show to the games? And I've even actually listened to a few audiobooks, and which I don't know if you're listening to the audiobooks or not, but
I've read two. I own two of the comics.
Okay. Well, from like the written material to the game material to the movie material, do you think that they've every branch off has, well, I say branch off. Do you think that the game and the movies have both kind of nailed what the author, the world the author was trying to paint? Do you think that they
some
complement each other?
aspects. Yeah, I think they complement each other in certain ways. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would agree.
Some I wouldn't say it. The world portrayed in Netflix, it's yeah. For the first episode, I would say yeah. The rest of it, it's not. They don't really go into detail of where they're at or what's
Hmm.
going on sometimes. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
yeah.
the show's biggest problem, in my opinion, was the timelines jumping back and
Yeah,
forth. It was very. I didn't even realize it was happening until about halfway through, and then I was like, "Hang on a second," and I got to thinking about it. And I was like, "Okay, that's what's going on." There's really no.
yeah,
They don't really tell you, when they're jumping or where they're jumping to, which I could see is could be confusing. But I felt like that they got the world pretty good. It's a dark, kind of gritty, hard
yeah.
nosed kind of world, and they've nailed that. And there's hopefully,
Right.
I hope they change the Nilfgaardian armor. They're supposed to be changing that,
Yeah,
because that armor was awful. It
it
just
wasn't
looked
all that great.
stupid. Yeah, it just looked terrible. But other than
I
that,
didn't care
like all the
for it.
costumes look great. Geralt's costume looked
Oh,
like it.
no
Everything
doubt.
else
Yeah.
looked fine. They've got a real. If they, it's still the most popular show on Netflix right now, I think. But if they
Yeah.
stick with that formula and just improve upon it, man, they got a 10 season show easily because there's more than enough
Oh yeah. 'Cause
content
it's
to.
they got
Because
2 seasons of just Geralt riding with the Wild Hunt.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, they haven't even got to that yet.
I hadn't even
Assuming
got
that
to
they go down
that.
that route, which I'm
Yeah.
assuming they would.
Assuming that they, I mean, surely, well, they have to. It's part of the story. If they go any further into it, it would have to.
Mm-hmm.
No. But yeah, it's I put it in my top 5 for sure. It's probably my third favorite game to play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard for me to
I put it,
imagine anybody playing this that loves RPGs and loves good stories and
yeah.
loves the fact that
And
they
I
can.
didn't care for Skyrim. And a lot of people's gonna, hate shame me on that. But I wasn't
Well,
a
it was a
big
different thing too.
Skyrim fan. That verse, I don't like the first person as far as the sword fighting goes.
Yeah, it
Um,
does feel a bit clunky. Clunky.
yeah,
It's which there's mods now that have improved it, but yeah, it does feel kind of weird.
right.
Which you can go third person in it, but even the third
You
person mode
can.
feels kind of dated. Which it's an older game. It's a great
Yeah,
game, but it's a different thing. This is much more. The Witcher 3 is much more narrative driven. Like the Skyrim has a good story, they got good side stories, and it's designed to make it feel like, I am the center of attention. Everything's revolving
exactly.
around me. Well, in The Witcher, it's revolving around Geralt. Sure, you're playing Geralt, but he's his own character. He's not you. So whenever
Yeah,
you go in that direction, and you're trying to make a story, as far as whenever you have this character in your head, you know who he is. So there's a certain way you
exactly.
can treat him. Whereas if you're letting a player make their own character and be who they want to, you have to
Exactly.
treat that a
Yeah,
certain way. You can't be so direct
exactly.
with things, or certain things can't. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's just a different way of telling a story. So to
Right.
me, like you can't really. I mean, you can compare them in the sense that they're both RPGs, but at the end of the day, to me personally, they're two very different things. And I mean, yeah, I agree. I think that I've definitely put more hours into The Witcher than I have Skyrim, and I really enjoy Skyrim. But I just something about The Witcher, man. There's just something about it.
Right.
It just
I
keeps you coming back for more.
uh, uh, which I read on CD Project Red's thing on their page.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to their Twitter and their Facebook, and they were saying that they're not finished with The Witcher. They're
Oh no,
still not
no.
saying that they're done with they're making another game, but apparently they have another DLC in the works.
Oh yeah, they're
So
gonna end up doing something else. They're not done with it, but they seemed like they. That's what I like about them. They focus on one project at a time. They're not.
but yeah, that's what they
They
said.
know
Their
that they're gonna
focus
do The
right
Witcher
now, they
again
have
probably,
everybody.
but they're gonna finish Cyberpunk. Like that's their goal.
Exactly. That's their thing right now. They're focused on Cyberpunk. That's what he
Yeah.
was saying in the thing. Um. So yeah. As far as that goes, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. If any kind of player, if you've never played an RPG, I would recommend it. If you're just getting into gaming, I would recommend it. If
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
definitely one of those games I'd recommend to anybody. It's like,
anybody,
yeah, I mean, it's just that good. Like, because the thing is, you're gonna find something that you like. Like,
exactly.
if you're not into the story stuff, the combat's good. It's in
Yeah,
depth. If you turn up the difficulty enough, you have to think about your potions. You have to think about, okay, how am I gonna fight this vampire? I gotta take a black blood potion so that way if he hits me, it'll knock him back and
exactly,
do damage to him. I got to use my magic, the right way. I got to build my
exactly.
and there's different ways to build my character. What armor, am I wearing? Am I fast and light? Am I heavy
Like,
and strong? How am I going to play this?
yeah, what
And
damage they deal for what armor you need to wear,
yeah,
what oil you would need to put on your sword.
yep, and
I mean,
it's surprisingly in depth whenever you turn up the difficulty. It's surprisingly in depth
oh,
for a
I would imagine
story-driven RPG. Because this really is a story-driven RPG. Like, there's a lot of
it is a
combat, there's
story
a
driven.
lot of side stuff. But like I was saying that last podcast, like even whenever you do a side mission, there's a lot of talking. Like you
Oh,
talk,
there's a
you
lot
talk, you
of doing.
talk.
Yeah, there's a lot of investigating. There's a
Yep,
lot of
that's
figuring
cool too.
out
The
what's
investigating
when, how.
thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
that
really
is
neat.
all neat. Another thing, don't think that this game. Don't go in this game thinking, "Oh, this is going to be one of those confusing games." For the most part, this game actually holds your hand
It's not that bad. Yeah.
pretty well. Like, I mean, don't go in. It's not one of those.
Well,
Somebody was telling me of one of the older, um, was it not Skyrim, but
Oblivion. Or no,
no,
probably Morrowind. I remember
well,
Morrowind.
what's the name of it? It's all one concept. What is it called?
Oh,
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's one
remember,
of the Elder
dude. Elder Scrolls
that
Morrowind was when I was a kid. I tried playing that. I think on the original
Yeah,
Xbox,
they
and
said
I
that
could
that was
not.
so hard.
I
It
tried
was to
playing
the
it.
point that you had to investigate it yourself. Like, you would go in a house and find a book. In
Yeah.
the book, it would be
Well,
like, go to the North Stream and walk 20 paces to find, and it's like, well, it doesn't show you where that stream is. You just have to figure that shit out.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
That's all. Like it'll tell you. Like, and the bad thing was, I played it whenever I was really young. I was probably only.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was young. I was under 15. I was like probably 13 or 4. I can't remember. But anyways, I remember playing that game, and I was like, and I remember seeing like on TV because I was a kid back then. I was like saying, I was like, this game is the blah blah blah, And if I was an adult, I probably could have figured it out. But as a kid, I didn't have a compass to go by, like because it didn't do any of that. It didn't say, okay,
No,
you need to
no,
go in
you
this
were just,
direction. It gave you names and places, like you have to go to this spot. Well, the only way to figure out how to get to that spot is you had to talk to the right ferryman, for example. Like you had to travel there, right? But the only way to travel there
yeah,
was to talk to the right person, and it was. I could see where it would be fun if you're hardcore into that kind of stuff, as far as.
right.
But for the average player, no, it's just too much. And I feel like the Witcher did a very good job of, you know, even in the descriptions, because I'm one of them players, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Like sometimes a game, it'll be like, okay, I accept the quest, and I'm looking at my compass, where do I gotta go, and then I pull up my map, see where I gotta go, and I travel to it, and then. But The
Yeah,
Witcher was one of those games where I would actually go into the quest log and be like, okay, what does it say? I got to talk to this specific person. Like it kind of gives you like a mini description. Well, The Witcher is one
yeah,
of those only
exactly.
games. The Witcher and Skyrim are one of the only games that actually read the mini description, right? But I didn't.
Exactly.
But I didn't have to if I didn't want to. I could have just
No, you didn't
did
have
what
to.
I
You
do
could
in
just
other games and just went straight to the objective point. I just like
exactly.
how it gives. They did a good job of making it accessible to as many people as possible, and at the same time keeping it like giving you all
Exactly.
that extra content, like the descriptions and the side stories that hardcore gamers would want. You know, They did a really good job
Yeah.
of balancing the game.
Yeah, they did. They did really well. Like they really opened up their what do you say? Opened up to a wider audience.
Yeah.
When they did it, and yeah,
And they did
it's,
it.
it's
They did it in a good way, because sometimes games
exactly.
can be done in a bad way, one way or the other.
Yeah.
It can be too
Oh, no
much one
doubt.
way or too much the other way. So
Yeah. That and it blows my mind to how gaming has come so far in this time. From what
hmm
where when I was a kid to what it is now, it's crazy. And they say the gaming market is
it's bigger than ever now.
grosses more money. Yeah, it grosses
hmm
more money than movies.
Oh yeah, it definitely does.
And all that, and it's
And you get the bad and good with that. You get like the good stuff, like the games like this, and then you get the bad stuff like EA, Grand Prix and shit.
yeah,
So that's part of it.
yeah. EA has just got off their roots because EA used to not. I talk a lot of crap about EA,
Man,
but
they
EA have
helped
gotten off
produce
their
fucking
Mass Effect. They did those. Those were great. That last
Bad
one
Company
was
2,
terrible.
man.
Yeah,
Bad
they
Company
did
2,
Bad Company
Battlefield
2.
3.
They did a lot of good games,
Mhm.
man. And it's like they got off of that concept.
It's
I liked
corporate,
all
man.
the Dead Spaces. I liked all of that, and they
Mhm.
just really got off of what they were coming from, and they got greedy with
It
it.
went to the money. Yep. Activision's done the
Yeah.
same thing.
My thing is, they don't realize, I know they want to get kids, but they say the average gamer is from the age of what, 38 to like 26.
Yeah, I can't remember what it
Like
is now.
it's something like that.
Yeah. Well, a lot older people are playing games because our generation is getting older. Like we
It
grew
is.
up, we kind of grew up in the golden age where we saw
Yeah.
everything. We saw Super
We got a little bit of
Nintendo,
everything.
and now we're up to
Yeah.
this point. Like we've done it all. We've
done
been
a
there.
lot,
And
yeah.
you got to think these kids now that are, 15 years old playing games. They haven't. They started on 360.
Exactly.
That's what they started on. So they don't really.
They don't know what a rumble pack is.
No, they don't.
know.
You don't know what no damn rumble pack is. Get out of my
You
face,
don't
kid.
know. Get out of my face. Oh,
Get
no,
out of my
back in
face
the
with your
game-
shit.
Back in the day, the remote didn't vibrate. We didn't
You
have
had to
all
buy a
that.
damn rumble pack.
You had to buy a rumble pack.
Oh, dude, I forgot about the rumble packs. Those were great. Oh my gosh, that's like it's like
hell.
playing on the Game Boy Advance Color, like the Game Boy Advance Color. Oh man, it's in
Right.
color. But to play at night, you had to have the attachment
The light.
to
you had
the
to have-
light.
You had to have the light, or it wouldn't do anything.
Oh, those were the days, man.
Uh,
Pokemon yellow, red, and blue.
Blue. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was it. I can't remember what was
Yeah.
the first handheld that they had internal lighting on the screen. What was it? Probably it wasn't the Advanced, I don't think.
It was the Sega brought out one, but it costed so much money. Toby owns one actually.
Does it really?
It was an old Sega. Yeah. The
What?
thing is, it's huge. It's
That's awesome.
it's about the size of a laptop. It's huge handheld, but it came out with Sonic and something else. Toby has like 3 or 4 games for it. That handheld is actually worth a decent amount of money.
Oh, I bet
Um,
so. Any of that old stuff. I still got my old Game Boy Advance. It still works too. That's what's crazy.
Oh yeah.
I turned it
Yeah.
on. It was like a couple months ago. I was going through all my old stuff, and I found I was like, holy crap, dude! Actually, all the consoles, everything I owned, all my old gaming stuff, my original Xbox, N64, Game Boy Advanced, everything I have, all my consoles still work.
Yeah, you see, I'd like to go back and get back into collecting some of them.
Well, and people forget
go
you
and,
couldn't break those things. They just didn't.
No,
Like they didn't
no.
break. The old Xbox. I don't remember anybody having any trouble with
That
the
thing
original
was
Xbox.
That thing
It
was
was a
pain.
brick.
That thing is like, I had one riding around. Someone gave it to me, and I had it riding around. I shit you not, Nick, in the backseat of my truck for like 2.5 years. And I took it out, and I put it in my room and tried to turn it on, and that son of a bitch came on, Nick. Came on and worked.
That don't surprise me. Those things, man, you couldn't break them. Could not break
Yeah.
them. Nowadays, one falls over and it's done.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Well, shit though, and how they make them now. I don't know, that Xbox One X, man, I think that would fall through the floor as heavy as that damn thing is.
Yeah, I had never dropped
That's
mine, and I don't want to try to test it, but
no, I don't want to either.
something tells me whenever the Xbox One X stops working, the old Xbox will still be running.
Oh yeah,
Same way
no
with the
doubt.
360. 360 was a good system too, but I feel like my Xbox will probably outlast it, which I never turn them on. Like literally, I got my Xbox on my shelf behind me just as a display thing. I don't never. I would like to get it modded, honestly.
Yeah.
Get some mods put on it, would be pretty cool, so I could actually, use it for something.
Oh,
But
no doubt.
I haven't done it, so it'd be cool to do though.
Yeah, that would be to have. Oh, I was going to ask you something. We're towards the end of it all. I purchased. It should be in within a couple of days. I purchased another monitor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a LG. It's a 32-inch monitor. It's not widescreen or anything, but it's 4K, sync compatible, all that, FreeSync compatible, and it's 1 millisecond response time, and it's 144 hertz refresh rate. I was wanting to see if you'd like to review it on
Yeah.
there because it's only a $300. I mean, I got it for $280
Dude, I
on
tell
sale.
you, man, if you ever want to
If you
do,
want to.
like, are you talking about like you use it and you review it, and
Oh
like
no!
we
I
talk
was
about
wanting
it?
to open it, like unbox it. Let's just go.
Oh
through
yeah,
the
film it.
paces right
Oh
then and
yeah,
there
dude,
and film it,
100%.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm down,
Yeah.
100%. I would love to do shit like that. Um, I just my whole thing is like it seems like I always run out of time to do things, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
But
No, no.
I
We
mean,
can
I feel
plan a
like
day for it.
that wouldn't. And I would say I just got a new cam. We'd probably just use the webcam. I actually bought a video camera off Amazon, and they had it on that flash deal. It was like $70, and I should have known better because it sucks. But I still got my other DSLR. So anyway, my point is we could get it done. I actually got a green screen now too that I can set up, and
Oh, well,
yeah, I've been accruing. You know how I am, dude.
Wiring,
I've got a
yeah.
bunch of stuff in this game room now that I've accrued over a year, and all I really need now is a good solid 1080p 60 FPS camera, and unfortunately, they are not cheap for a good one. Like it's a lot
yeah.
of money. But I mean, we can use the webcam or whatever. But yeah, we can set something up, and I definitely want to do that. So you want to do like an unboxing video, and is that what you want to do, or you want to like play on it for a while and then do a review on it, or how do you want to? What were you thinking?
My remote died. What were you saying?
I was saying that were you just want to do like an initial unboxing video and like a kind of like a thoughts video on it, or do you want to do like an actual review where you use it for a while and then talk about it?
Yeah, I was thinking about let's just unbox it, just put it through its paces right then and there, and just review it like
Just like
we
first
would.
impressions,
Is
like
it worth
yeah, what we
you
think,
know,
just seeing it right off
what
the
we
bat.
think? Yeah, is it worth
Yeah.
the money? Is it worth for what it is?
Yeah, I
It's a
definitely do that.
4K monitor. That's the whole reason I was wanting to do it because it's 4K and it's so cheap. That's why I
How
was
much
like,
did you
is
pay
it
for it?
worth $280 after shipping and everything.
That's it.
That's it. 32-inch 4K monitor.
32-inch.
32-inch.
Jesus,
Monitor.
man, that's as big as my TV I got mounted
4K.
on my wall.
Yeah, 4K.
My little monitors aren't, but like I think 27-inch, 28, which they're
Yeah.
cheap. They're nothing special.
I have a
but
27-inch right now. Yeah, and I got that, and I just bought that one.
Yeah.
My overhead is a 27-inch AOC, but
yeah,
But yeah, that one I saw it and I was just like, and I've seen a lot of people talk good about it and it's got
Mhm.
good things, but it's like one of those where it's like, is it
you
worth
don't
the
really
money or
know, yeah, until you actually
Until you
turn
get
it
it.
on. Yeah,
touch it? I figured
Um,
we could run some. Got that good computer. That's why I figured we could at least run some frame rate tests and all that and see if it's actually
yeah,
it's as responsive as it's supposed to be. And
yeah, we can do
you
that.
know.
I don't know how to do all that, but I mean, hell, we got YouTube. We can
yeah,
figure
it's
it
not
out.
hard. Yeah, we can figure that out.
Yeah, we can do something. When does it come in?
Like I said, it should be in It should be in by this weekend, but
Okay.
if not, um, no.
Yeah, just
I purchased it yesterday, so it should be. I was hoping it'd be in by Friday, but if not,
it'll probably be in by Friday or Saturday, I imagine.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, we can do something on it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Sounds
no
good to me.
doubt. Yeah.
You just have to let me know whenever
Uh,
you get it in, or when you can kind of give me an idea of like what time you can do it or whatever.
Yeah,
So
if you, if
set something
anything,
up.
we can wait on a day that's free for you, like a weekend where you ain't got nothing going on. You got like 3 or 4 hours to burn.
Yeah. Well, actually, this weekend
Yeah.
Amanda's gonna be working, but I gotta try to get that room painted. But that's all I gotta do. So I'm sure I'll either do that Saturday or Sunday, and whichever day I don't do that, I'm really not gonna have anything to do. So yeah, we can
Which
do that.
room are you painting?
The baby's room.
Is it the one in the living room across from the living
Yep.
room?
Yep. I got the
Yeah.
crib put together tonight, so we gotta
Oh,
paint
okay.
it. And yeah, once I get it painted, and I gotta put some trim down on that part where we got the wall fixed. We've got the wall fixed finally, and
Okay, good
it'll
deal.
be done. So yeah, I'll be glad whenever I'm done with everything. I'm tired of working on projects. So,
No doubt. No doubt.
but
Well, if you need any help painting, holler at me. I don't mind helping.
but yeah, I guess
Uh,
we'll end the podcast here. Do you have any final thoughts you want to say about the game?
I think I've said almost everything I can think of. I mean, unless there's something I'm not thinking of. I mean, it's like I said, it's a great game. 10 out of 10. You know,
Yeah, just go out and buy it, huh?
Just go out and
stop
buy it.
listening to us talk. Go out and buy it.
go out and buy it.
Do
It's
yourself
not
a
much
favor.
money.
You earned it.
You know,
Go buy it.
even if you bought it, I think. Let me look up right now. Yeah, Amazon, $30 right now. You get
It's
both
probably even,
DLCs.
it may be even
you
cheaper
know.
on digital. It's very possible
You know,
they
you
have a
might
deal.
find it. You know, Steam. I'm not sure. I don't have mine pulled up. I don't know what it's going for on Steam. I don't know what. You know, but there's plenty of places you can find it. You can find it used, I'm sure, in a game store for, you know, not even playing the DLC. I haven't played the DLC yet, but
Yeah.
just playing the main story.
Uh-huh.
You know, you can
Yep.
find that in the game store probably $15
Yep.
or less. You know, so there's no reason for you not to play the game.
Yep. So yep. I'm pretty much feel the same way you feel about it. It's like at this point, if anybody's still listening to us talk ramble on about different things at this point, stop listening to us talk. Go buy
Right.
Witcher 3. I don't care if you buy the base game. I don't care if you buy the complete package with all the DLC. It doesn't matter. Just go out and buy it. It's worth, even if it was still $60, I would tell you to go buy it because it's worth every penny. And yeah, that's all we really got to say about it at this point. I think we've pretty much made our point on it, and I guess it's going to be it for us tonight, guys. If you watched
Yeah.
the video all the way through, I really appreciate you watching it. And if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and consider hitting that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. But yeah, that's going to be it for us tonight. Dobbs, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Oh yeah, good fellas and ladies, whoever's all watching.
Yep, who's ever watching. Once again,
Whoever's watching.
once again, guys, appreciate y'all stopping by. Appreciate you watching the videos that we put out, and appreciate you supporting the channel. And
One more thing before you stop. I do want to throw this out there. You don't need to play the first and second game. You
Yes.
don't have to play those.
that's a good point.
Just buy the third one and play that one. You don't have to play the others.
You don't even have to look into it
It's-
if you don't want to.
You don't
You're
have to
still
look
gonna
into
enjoy
it.
it. Yeah.
They're gonna enjoy it.
All right, that's going to be it for us, guys. Once again, like I said a few seconds ago, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. You guys and gals be good. Have a great night, evening, day, morning, whatever time you're watching this video, listen to this podcast. Thanks, guys.
By order of the Emperor of Nilfgaard, for the murder of the wounded, looting, cannibalism, you are hereby sentenced to death by hanging or torment.
Don't meddle. Take the reward and let's go.
Help me!
Humans scorn Imperial gold. Tough hunt.
Tougher than yours, that's certain. Evil is evil. Lesser, greater, middling, makes no difference.
Bring her down. Do it my way. You like that, you bitch? Get the hammer. Kick her teeth in.
The degree is arbitrary, the definition's blurred. If I'm to choose between one evil and another, I'd rather not choose at all.
Just make it quick, Geralt.
What the?